Hello, everybody, and welcome to the HCW Podcast. Today, we will be reviewing WWE Friday Night Smackdown, AEW Revolution, WWE Monday Night Raw, and AEW Dynamite. Stay tuned, it's going to be a fun show. Roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am your host, Frozzy, alongside my good friend, Rate Wrestle. How are you doing this week, buddy?
I'm doing alright. I've come back to an absolute crap tip of wrestling. Revolution was good, we'll get there, but the rest is wonderful and you should stay tuned to hear me review it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great review, as always. Anyone who watched last week's, I can guarantee you now this is going to be shorter and we're reviewing more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't look like a great week of wrestling. I've been moving house, so yeah, it's all sort of, I've caught what I can, but I've not seen a hell of a lot of wrestling. So Revolution is something I'm going to catch up on, but the rest of it is, yeah, I've had a week off technically. I'm just here to present and give opinions. So with that being said, we will crack on and get straight into Friday Night Smackdown if you want to take it away.
Yeah, I like this because if you haven't seen it, I can basically, even if I get it wrong, you won't know. That's what I like about this. So we kicked off Smackdown, the Bloodline in the ring, and then basically Cody comes down instantly straight after the Bloodline. What I enjoy about the Bloodline coming down is that it's 10 minutes gone from Smackdown straight away when Roman Reigns is in the ring. Cody basically says, do you need your bitches here, is pretty much the term of it, and then Roman lets them go. And it's just pretty much a back and forth. It's a good promo by Cody and Roman. Cody was going, best man kind of thing, and then Roman was just basically saying, have you even fought for one of these titles? Have you been a WrestleMania thing, etc., like that, and just winding him up completely. And then he was saying that he went to the daddy issues again of Roman saying, I'm what your dad wanted. And then Cody was going, Dad. It was just the usual Cody Rhodes twitch. And the story, he's got to complete the story.
Yeah. And we all know he's going to, so.
Yes. Sami Zayn's going to... No. Liv and Rhea was up next. That was my match of the night straight off. I was surprised by it because Rhea obviously is going towards WrestleMania, so it wasn't a full-on squash match, which I expected them just to throw out that Rhea was just going to be dominant, even though it's Liv. Liv got a bit of offense in, but Rhea was just a bit more overpowered, and Dom kind of was a wind-up merchant at the ring side, and Rhea planted with a riptide to pick up the win. Rated 2 3/4. Decent start to the show.
Yeah, and it didn't get any better by the sounds of it if that was your match of the night.
Oh, yeah, no, not really. Bloodline backstage, basically Jimmy was going, I don't know where Jay is. Roman's getting annoyed about it, and he's saying he's running out of time. And Jimmy was going, no, I'll sort it with Jay, and he went, no, I'm not running out of patience, I'm running out of patience with you. Because basically, obviously, he's not sorting the situ, and Jimmy's like, no, I'll sort it, dog. The typical Uso way of talking. Dom got accosted by Santos Escobar because, Santos Escobar wears a mask, Ray wears a mask. So respect. And he's just basically challenged Dom to a match straight away. Santos Escobar versus Dom, 2.5-star match. Rhea absolutely obliterated Santos Escobar from a distraction, and Dom picked up the win. Dom's growing on me every week because it's so stupid, Dom. It's brilliant. It's so ridiculous.
Love it.
Like, when we get to Raw, I'm probably going to fit it, so I'm going to mention it now. On Raw, Dom's got a tear tattoo. So, brilliant.
Nice.
Next up, we had Drew in the ring. He wants to challenge Gunther. Sheamus comes down and goes, you ruined my dreams of challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. It's been 15 years and that's the only title I wanted. Then here comes LA Knight. Yeah. And he basically says, you can't have WrestleMania without LA Knight. Yeah. And then here comes the New Day randomly. And then the New Day was saying something about WrestleMania, and LA Knight loses all the time. And then here comes Karrion Kross randomly. And then there's a big brawl, and it ends up with Karrion Kross pretty much standing up the tallest from just like absolutely chaos. So they're gonna try and figure out who's gonna face Gunther at WrestleMania.
We all know it's going to be McIntyre, so
I think it's going to be a triple. I think it's going to be Sheamus, McIntyre, and Gunther.
I'd like to see it, but I think I'd prefer one-on-one.
Yeah, no, because Gunther's had it with Sheamus. I feel like Gunther is a one-on-one kind of guy. I don't think he'd work well in a triple threat. I nearly said Knoxville here. Tegan Knox versus Shayna Baszler. Knoxville's not back. I'm sorry. All right, this 1.5
He had
star.
the greatest match ever. So I mean, you can't come back and top that, can you?
It's nearly the anniversary of that terrible call.
I know.
Tegan Knox versus Shayna Baszler. 1.5 stars. Baszler squash match, which is disappointing in itself because Tegan Knox is decent. So I don't know why they've decided to just squash her. Gunther was basically saying straight afterwards he's annoyed by how unworthy everyone is, battering each other. One deserves to be Intercontinental Champion. Bobby Lashley was down next, and he wants to fight Bray Wyatt, and he's just going to turn up on Raw. Turn up on SmackDown because Bray Wyatt didn't turn up on Raw. Bray Wyatt has the Do the Muscle Man dance, if you remember that, the thing, and it's about Bobby Lashley, and then it's him going run. Then Bobby Lashley's like, what the... And then Uncle Howdy attacks him. And then Bobby Lashley is about to eliminate Uncle Howdy, and then the lights go off and come back on, Howdy's gone.
Yeah.
Bloodline, I don't even know what I've written here about the... I need time for Jay. That was it. Jimmy said that he spoke to Jay, and Jay said that he needs time. And then Roman went, what did he say? And then, he went, Jay actually said, just leave me the hell alone. That was pretty much his reply back to that. And he's really annoyed about this Roman, basically.
Yeah.
And then main event, which I thought would have been the man of the match, but it was a bit meh, was Zayn versus Solo. It was all pretty much on Jimmy and Solo about to jump Zayn. They failed in it pretty much. And then there was an attack at the end on Zayn, and all went loose, basically. End of SmackDown.
Yeah, well, doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll move on to what should be the highlight of the show. We'll go straight into Revolution.
Yeah, so Revolution, AEW, they know how to put on a good pay-per-view. They just don't know how to do weekly TV to get you to the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So they have good matches whenever, it's just the stories in between. So we started with Jericho and Starks. I rated this 3 stars. It was actually a decent opener. As I said, I've discussed, I'm not a big fan of Starks. He's just a bit of a meh guy to me. Good back and forth between them both. But it would have got a higher rating, but the ending was awful because Jericho hit him with Floyd in the guts, whammed him, and then he's going for the Judas effect. Literally within 5 seconds, 10 seconds, Ricky Starks gets back up and blocks it. He's just being hit with a bat, and he does these, but he blocks it doing that thing, and it's like, so we're just going to forget you just been hit with a bat, and then he ends up picking up the win with a Ramshambo straight afterwards. It's like, hold on, you just been hit with a bat in the cut. Literally within 5 seconds, Judas effect, he did that to block it, like this thing, and that was it. And it was just like, hold on, okay. But yeah, it was a good match. It was just, the ending was a bit off, and it annoyed me because it was getting there, and then just the stupid, we need to make something fun, didn't work. Then we had Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Christian Cage in a match that they've never seen before in AEW, a casket match. That's what was announced because it was called a Buried Alive match. They've never seen it before. It was a casket match.
Yeah.
I've seen a casket match in AEW twice with Darby Allin. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was 3 1/4 stars. It was an absolute brawl between them. Cage was trying to wind up Jungle Boy in front of his his family and stuff like that. At the start, he didn't want nothing to do. He was trying to leave and slow it down. It ended with Jungle Boy basically concertoing Christian, absolutely to oblivion. And then he throws him into the casket, and the casket kind of does like a lever thing that goes straight down into the ground.
Right.
So it's a weird Buried Alive match where it's just a casket match.
Fair.
But I rated it 3 1/4 stars. I did enjoy it. Overall, a very good match. Up next, we had the Elite versus the House of Black. I rated this 4 1/4 stars. Loved it. You wouldn't have loved it. It was a good match. Like, the only things that let these matches down is that literally at one point in the match, the referees just forget that it actually needs to. It might as well just be a Texas Tornado match because everyone's in it all the time for the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But like the action's on it really good, and I think the reason I rated it slightly higher than I would have is that House of Black actually won, and I was very surprised that they won.
I was very surprised they won,
especially because the Young Bucks were doing there was a few like near fall spots that could have been a lot better if the Young Bucks aren't idiots sometimes. Basically, there was like a proper near fall, but you knew it wasn't going to be a near fall because Nick Jackson was already in the ring waiting to break it up at 2. Like, he was literally just there on the ropes, and it was going 1-2, and then he decided to do a last-minute dive, and it's like, you could have just walked over and tapped him by the time you find that. And then Matt Jackson did the exact same thing because it's a spot, and it's kind of like, I understand, but if I can see you on the monitor, it looks stupid that you're just waiting there, waiting for the second so you can dive in.
Yeah.
But yeah, House of Black picked up the win. I was really happy about that because they need something, the House of Black, because they're a decent thing. They've just got nothing about them until now. Straight after that, we had the triple threat: Hater versus Saraya versus Soho. I rated this 2 3/4. It was a bit meh. It was just an average contest. A bit of people annoyance from Storm and Britt Baker back on the manager side of it. There was a few near falls, and then eventually Hater kind of just whammed Soho and picked up the win. This was more about what happened after the match. So Saraya and Storm started attacking Hater, and then Britt Baker came in to try and stop it, and then they started attacking her, and then Ruby Soho was just standing there, and then eventually she rose out Saraya and Toni Storm, and she shakes hands with Jamie Hayter and stuff, and then out of nowhere, the full-on just kicks her in the face, just like a Pele kick in the face.
Yeah.
And then they spray L's because she's now with the Stormer and the Saraya, so they spray L's on people now.
Cool.
But I'll be honest, we'll get there, but there's a promo with Ruby Riott and Ruby Soho, and it's very, very good on Dynamite. It actually makes you. I don't care about Saraya and Storm at the moment, but like Ruby Soho actually made me care a bit about her.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Mox versus Paige in an absolute godsend of a blood brawl. If you want Moxley if you want a good hardcore match, just throw Moxley in there. You know it's going to be brilliant. Just barbed wire, and they were fighting with bricks. I think I'm sure I rated 4.5 stars. It was just brutal, like barbed wire, and it was like, it wasn't like the WWE barbed wire where it kind of split. It was the typical, like, it's just cutting people open barbed wire. People were going through. Moxie was going through like tables. Hangman was going through barbed wire tables. Getting flipping dropped, dead-eyed on like some bricks, like actual bricks. Like barbed wire chant. It was just insanity. Like, it's hard to explain. But it ended with a throwback to the Bullet Club, because obviously Hangman Page. He ended by throwing Jon Moxley over the rope with a barbed wire noose. I think it was the barbed wire noose, or it might have been a chain. I'm sure it was a noose. But either way, he throwed him over the top rope, and Moxley actually tapped, which Moxley never taps. But obviously it was a throwback because Hangman used to do that with an actual rope. And it was a good match. Really excited. And that's the end of the rivalry.
Is it, though?
Wait till the Dynamite review. Next up, we had Wardlow versus Joe. I rated this 2.5 stars. I absolutely didn't care. I'll be honest, I watched it and I was trying to get into it, and it was just a bit pants. Wardlow won. That's my review of that Samoa Joe match. I can't even think of what happened in it.
No.
Fatal 4-way tag match. Like, this was a bit meh as well. I rated 2 3/4. Like, they should have moved these slower up. They like down further down the cards. Why is this match the semi-main event? Danhausen and Orange Cassidy versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus the Gun Club versus the Acclaimed. What a hodgepodge match. Gun Club won clean. Some other stuff happened. Danhausen actually became a legit wrestler in the match, which made no sense because he hasn't been a legit wrestler for most of the AEW, so it made no sense to me. Satnam Singh got involved. people were tagging in and out, but it was also no disqualification, so I don't understand why the people were tagging in and out. Gun Club won clean. Gun Club are celebrating. Here comes FTR, and that's going to be a rivalry now. FTR back.
There's no way FTR can lose.
There is. This is AEW.
True.
They'll get screwed.
Yeah.
And then main event time, an 1 hour Iron Man match, which was very, very, very good. I rated it 5 stars. Just throwing it out there now. Loved it. MJF is such a good character and heel worker, and Bryan's obviously just a machine. So it was pretty much a work on the arm for Bryan, work on the leg for MJF. MJF is playing the whole card that he's never actually wrestled more than 30 minutes in his career. So obviously when he's getting to like 33 minutes, he's absolutely shattered. He keeps drinking water during it. The first fall is Daniel Bryan. And what happens next is absolutely brilliant. So it's 1-0 up to Daniel Bryan. MJF low blows Daniel Bryan. So it's 2-0 to Daniel Bryan. Then he hits, I keep saying Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. Then he hits him with a finisher. It's 2-1 to Bryan Danielson. And he just pins him straight away again. Just literally pins him, 1-2-3. Pins him 1-2-3. It's not one this crappy thing where you have to wait until they're standing in the corner. Just went for 2 falls straight away. 2-2.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I loved it. I'm going to be honest the way they did that.
It always bothered me when I used to watch Iron Man matches, like when they happened, that people didn't do that. Like, if you hit your finisher, they're down for like 6, 7, 8 seconds, whatever. Get 2 falls out of it. How are you not doing this?
Absolutely brilliant. And then he ended up going 3-2 ahead at one point. And then he started trying to cheat a bit with like the Dynamite brass knucks, but Thingy, Bryce Rensburg noticed them and kind of ripped them off him. There was also another thing where he tried to cheat. I can't remember what it was, but he ripped him off that. Bryan ended up being 3-3 at this point, like submitted him because he just didn't have it. And then it got to 3-3, and it was time limit draw. And then out of nowhere comes Tony Schiavone bowling down to the ring, and then for some reason Tony Schiavone's been told that it's sudden death rules. And what happens in the end is MJF is absolutely pooped during this point. Like, he's got oxygen tank and everything like that. He's out cold. And then they say, oh no, we need to restart this. All the people clear, and MJF's like, what's happening? He's getting absolutely whammoed by Daniel Bryan, and then he gets thrown to the outside, and then he lands perfectly where the oxygen tank is. Daniel Bryan comes in, he whams him in the head, and then he ends up picking up the win. But I didn't mind it because he kept going to cheat, and he kept getting caught, and eventually it just worked for him that he could cheat. But yeah, overall, such a good match. MJF's so good.
Yeah.
So good. And Bryan's so good. 5 stars.
5 stars. I wonder if he'll get that from Meltzer.
I wonder if it's already been rated. I'll segue into that while I'm going to find. We'll start on Raw. But that might be already rated.
I was going to say it's been nearly a week, so you'd like to think it'd have been rated.
I feel like it would have been rated 5 stars by David Meltzer. I'm going to be honest.
I feel like everything's probably got 5-star rating from Meltzer.
Yeah. I'm really. Oh, I was reading. It's because I watched Dynamite. I watched Revolution prior to watching SmackDown. I was really weirded by my order. Then I do that every time there's a pay per view. But yeah, so we'll kick off into Raw if not. And the ratings are not up yet. The Meltzer ratings. It's got 9.66 on Cage Match, so it can't be. It's definitely going to be more than 5 stars on Dave Meltzer's scale, because I forget that Dave Meltzer's scale also isn't just 5 stars.
No, the Dave Meltzer scale is up to 7 or 8 now.
It's 7. It's got to be 7, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll move on to Raw then. Yep.
So Raw, the Bloodline, they're annoyed that Sammy escaped. But Heyman's saying, Jimmy, you need to deal with Sammy, and Solo, you need to deal with Owens. We kick off with the match of the night once again. Solo versus Owens. It's just a good match. Solo's really good. Owens is always good. Jimmy was trying to get involved. They both eventually jumped Owens to get the disqualification. About to beat the crap out of Owens. Sami Zayn comes down and lays waste. He wants to shake hands with Owens, and Owens is still like, no, Like,
Yeah.
you know, you've like for this whole time you've ruined my life, and now you suddenly want to like be my dog.
Yeah.
Lashley up next. He was just on about Wyatt needs to face him like a man, but he kept weirdly saying it. I didn't write it down, but it was just, you know, like Lashley's awful at promos. He was just saying stuff weirdly. And that was the old promo. You need to face me like a man. And then, do you know, the weird B thing that Bray Wyatt's got at the moment, or the thing, it just pops up in the behind the Titans.
Yeah.
Carmella was there, and she was disgusting, and Chelsea Green came in, so I paid attention to this. They were basically going on about Chelsea Green. Mella was saying how much she hated Adam Pearce. Then Chelsea Green obviously popped in. We were going, you know, what we should do is we should speak to his manager. And then they were going, oh, that would be great. And it was just like, oh, it's just so good. It's just so funny. And then Carmella said that Chelsea Green can manage her at ringside, and Chelsea Green's really happy about it. Bianca versus Mel out rated 2.5 stars. It was just pretty much Bianca picking up the win. Chelsea Green kept getting involved, but Bianca was too strong. They start beating down Bianca, but then here comes Asuka. Comes down to the ring, missed Chelsea Green, and then just stares maniacally at Becky Lynch and Bianca Blair, and she's just looking like, oh, what's gonna happen? I don't understand what's happening. Zayn and Owen are backstage. Zayn's pretty much just saying we've got the same objection, you know, like we don't need to be best friends. We need to take out the bloodline. And then Kevin Owens is just like, please leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
As Kevin Owens does.
Yeah.
Just go away.
Next up, we had The Miz, Logan Paul, and Seth. WrestleMania.
Yay.
That was pretty much that.
To be fair, I think it'll be a good match.
You know, it'll be a very, very good match, but that was pretty much the sum total of the promo.
Yeah.
Logan Paul was being a jock heel, like, you know, like a proper teenage adult film, awful heel. Like, you know, like the jocks in high school. That's what he sounded like to me. Match of the night, Omos versus Dolph. I rated that 0 stars. 2 moves, Omos won. And he's going to face Brock. MVP went, this is why Omos is dangerous, because he beat Dolph Ziggler in a minute after. Triple M backstage, they're doing that fit where they're talking to the camera going, look at him, he's so magnificent, and you know he's on about OTs. Corbin walks in and goes, thank you, I've been down on my luck, you know, it's been nice that you say this to me. And then the other 2 M&M guys are going, you're bald, you know, you're disgusting. But then Maxine basically says if he beats Chad Gable tonight, she'll let him join Triple M. Bala Gargano rated 2 3/4 stars. It was fine. Nothing major happened, and until the end where Edge came down. The Titan Train came on, his music was blaring, so Rhea and Dom went up the stage. Edge came from behind, pushed Balor off the top rope. Gargano got the one final beat and picked up the pin, and then Rhea and Dominic turned around to notice that all of this was happening. It was, you know, I know there's music, but come on, it's not that loud. We had Pippa Niven versus Nikki Cross, 0.5 star. Pippa Niven just obliterated Nikki Cross. We had a 0 star performance from Boogs and Elias backstage. Boogs is trying to bench press a truck, and then Elias wants him to he basically goes, go to Bronson Reed, go to him, I want you to fight me next week. And Rick Boogs was like, yeah, I can do that. And then Rick Boogs went to him and went, Elias wants to fight you next week. And then he comes back and Bronson Reed goes, you want to fight me? I'll see you next week, and walks off. And then Elias was going like, what you mean? Well, what happened? He went, you told me you wanted to fight him. And he was like, no. So it was fun, but it was also Rick Boogs. And I was kind of,
yeah.
Cena and Theory, WrestleMania. Cena was basically telling Theory he's a nothing, which was pretty much Theory was living up to it. Cena came up with a reference that made no sense to me. I want you to see if this makes sense to you. Like, for Austin Theory, it's a lose-lose situation. If he loses to me, obviously he's lost, he's got nothing. And if he beats me, and he has to come on Monday Night Raw the next night, he's also still lost. I don't get it. You probably should watch the promo because it makes no sense to me. He's pretty much. I don't know what he means. If like you beat John Cena, the fans are going to be annoyed. But if you lose to John Cena, you're a dick. It made no sense. But I'm happy.
I don't know whether he means like if he loses to John Cena, he's lost to John Cena, who hasn't fought in God knows
which
how
is the
long.
thing. It's just if you win, you're also a loser.
Yeah. So if he beats him, you've beat John Cena, who hasn't wrestled for a year. So I get it from that sense, but the way you've put it doesn't sound like that.
It didn't sound like it, but the way you worded it makes it sound like it should have been that, but it's fine. But I'm looking forward to it. I like Theory and John Cena wrestling. I'm fine with it. Like, I don't want to see him week in, win out, but when it's a special occasion, I love seeing John Cena pop up. Especially old man John Cena now. Like, he looks so old in the face.
Yeah, he does. His hair's so weird as well.
Yeah, the bold patch was mentioned. Sami Zayn, speaking to Jimmy, was saying, you know, I don't even know if he was speaking to I've just read Sami Zayn saying and Jim. Oh, he's going to beat Jimmy tonight. That was it. He weren't speaking to Jimmy. He just said he's going to beat Jimmy tonight. Gable versus Corbin. I rate this to 1.25 stars. It was a bit of a nothing match. Chad Gable won clean, though. That's all that matters. Chad Gable won a match. Yeah,
well, with the stipulation of Baron Corbin joining MMM, it was only ever going to go one way.
Yeah, but he won clean. That's all I need. Chad Gable won clean. He never wins.
He's not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything from this. He'll lose next week.
Also, he beat Baron Corbin, who doesn't win either. Then it was the triple threat legends of Lita, Trish, and Becky Lynch. And then here comes Bayley, and basically what's happened is going to be the three-way tag team match is actually happening, the six-man. So it'll be decent.
They've gone the arse way about getting there, because they should have done it a while ago.
But they've got to lose the titles prior to it, or are they going to put them on the line somehow in the six-man tag?
I don't think they'll put them on the line in the six-man tag. They'll probably lose them at Backlash.
Yeah, or run Monday Raw, can they? Raw after WrestleMania, they could just absolutely wham it off. Zayn versus Jimmy, I rated this 2.25 stars. Half of it was the break. And then Jay came out, distracted Jimmy on accident. Sammy rolled him up. Then we had the tension in the ring with Jay and Jimmy. Jimmy walked off after hugging Jay. The other way around. Jay hugged Jimmy and then walked off. Then he embraces Sammy and they do the one symbol and you think, oh, he's actually turned a new leaf and, he's going to be with Sammy. Then obviously we all know it was going to happen. Whammoed Sammy. And now the Bloodline are together again. But weirdly enough, Cody Rhodes comes out to save Sammy. Adrenaline in my soul. Here comes Cody Rhodes. So I've got the 0 minutes to review this Dynamite show. Just for preference, the United game has just literally kicked off now, so be happy that I'm still here, people. And also I'm supposed to be there's a Kamikaze video that literally is releasing right now as well, so I probably should tweet out about that in the next second or so. So we'll wham through Dynamite. So it started off with match of the night. Every show the first match was the match of the night. It's not Jimmy. I keep fucking Jimmy's in my head now. Jay Lethal versus Orange Cassidy. I rated 3.25 stars. It was actually a lot better than it needed to be. Because the only thing that let it down is Cassidy doing his usual spots of being absolutely battered, but still, they had a chop battle, but Cassidy was doing that at the end. It was it's the only thing that kind of let it down a bit. But it was legit. It was good. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then Jarrett came down and whammoed Cassidy, and then the best friends came down with a pipe, and then Jarrett left. Hobbs won the Battle Royale thing or ladder thing. I don't know when that was. Was that at Dynamite or was that at the pay-per-view? Or was that Rampage?
It was last week on Dynamite.
Okay. So he's going to face Wardlow tonight. Also, Wardlow, I don't know if you know this, his car got broken into and his gear got stolen and the championship got stolen.
Yeah, it's funny. That happened to Jericho. Remember when he first won the world title?
Yeah, find out Jericho did it. So, this is what happens. Starks came down. He talked some crap. And, he doesn't know who's going to fight next. Out of nowhere, Bullet Club for life. And then he gets jumped by Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
Everyone was excited, thinking it was going to be Jay White. Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson was kicked out of Bullet Club, but now he's back in Bullet Club. There's not actually a story anywhere where he's turned up in Bullet Club.
Well, now he is.
Yeah. It might be because David Finlay was his ex-partner, and they had a bit of rivalry, but now David Finlay's the leader of Bullet Club. So I don't know if they've suddenly went, oh yeah, they were friends, they had a bit of rivalry. I don't know. It's more that's New Japan, not AEW's fault.
Yeah.
Wardlow came on, no DQ tonight. That was the promo. Ruby Soho, so this was, as I said, this was a great promo. Because it was legit, because she basically said, like you were saying all this homegrown talent, but when I was here, you barely cheered me, even though when I was picking up wins. When Tony was here, you barely, and it was actually making sense. Like the fans barely helped. And then Ruby was like, against Chris Statlander, I beat her, and you booed me out of the arena. And then I lost to the champion at that time, and you booed me out the arena. And it's like, what do you think I'm gonna do to still be like you like a face if you you but still booing me continuously? So why don't I be a dick about it? Yeah. And then she fought Sky Blue. I rated 2 stars. It was just pretty much obliteration of Sky Blue. Bad. Yeah. They're about to do the loser thing. Willow comes down. They obliterate Willow as well, and they do the loser thing, and them too.
So she stopped the loser thing to then get it herself.
Yeah. Hangman cuts a promo. He's done with Moxley. FTR are in the ring. That was the promo, by the way. FTR are in the ring. They want to fight the Gun Club for the titles because they're back. Cargill's backstage. This is how many promos are happening in a row here. She's doing an open challenger because they're in Canada next week. So any Canadian dumbass bitch wants to come out and fight her, she's ready. Who's that going to be?
Don't know.
And she's also 53-0.
No one cares at this point.
Jazz Society versus AR Flight. I rated 2.5 stars. It was a proper struggle of a match to get through. It was just pretty much just comedy. But now, for some reason, the Jazz Society are number 1 contenders for the Trios title. They've had one Trios match. But then here comes the Elite. But they jokingly come out as the House of Black for a few seconds, then come out as Elite and was going, well, you need to come through us. We made the Trios titles relevant. They're not relevant. I don't mind the matches, but the titles are just there. House of Black basically say, we'll face you both. So next week is going to be I don't even know, like a three-way match. It's going to be so confusing. So 3 teams.
3 on 3 on 3.
Yeah. So 9-man tag. Triple 9-man. Fuck it. Tony Khan's got a big announcement. Do you know what was Orange Cassidy's title called?
All Atlantic.
It's now the International Championship.
What a change.
Because of Shazam.
Whatever. Move on.
Yep. Literally was promo in the film Shazam, and now that's the reason that I don't understand. BCC versus a team. Dark Order, that's what it was. I rated 2 3/4. It was better than expected, but also it was BCC versus Dark Order. Moxley ended up picking up the win with the Bulldog choke. Lets it go, and then he puts it back in. Then here comes Evil Uno to stop him. And then here comes Wheeler Yuta. Massive brawl. BCC were absolutely obliterating. And then here comes Adam Page. And that rivalry that's ended with him and Mox. It's not ended with him and Mox. They've had a Texas death match.
Yeah.
So, when was War Games last?
God knows.
So it's going to be that, innit? Like, it's leading to that.
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it?
Because what they'll do is they'll probably wham Brian into it as well.
Yeah.
Just to get him away from the title. Hobbs versus Wardlow. I rated 2.5 stars. Absolutely awful. Like main event. They were just brawling backstage, and then it was getting fine. I'm going to say it wasn't as bad as I think it is, but the ending was awful. Do you know how this ended?
I know that Wardlow didn't win. So,
but do you know who cost him the championship?
No.
So, who do you think would be relevant enough to make Powerhouse Hobbs win the championship?
Taz.
No. Think of the most relevant wrestler in AEW?
I don't know, because you'd probably say Samoa Joe, wouldn't you? It'd cost him the title.
Did you think it would be Samoa Joe?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
So it was QT Marshall.
What?
QT Marshall cost Wardlow the championship by hitting him with a camera. And Excalibur threw it back going, I remember when he told Hobbs that he was going to do anything to let him win that title. Well, I don't remember him saying that. Excalibur had to remind everyone, because no one gives a crap about QT Marshall. Why is that? The TNT title is absolute ass. The amount of times it gets traded is unreal.
Yeah. I mean, they give it him 4 days ago.
Yeah.
And he's already lost it.
Yeah, he's already lost it.
Makes no sense. That was the main event.
Yeah, that was the main event. Match of the night. For Revolution, it was obviously the 5-star match, but weekly show, I rated something for in a free quarter. Oh, the Orange Cassidy Jay Lethal match.
Yeah.
Which is insane thinking about, that shouldn't be a match of the night in the whole 3 weeks of, 3 shows of wrestling.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. But we got there, and it's done.
Yes.
And that is another podcast in the bank. So, as always, follow us on Twitter at the HCW Show. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, do whatever you want to do. Just tell us what you like and what you don't like. We are reviewing things all the time to see what works and what doesn't. So if there's anything you want to see us do, let us know.
We'll get rid of DP if you want us to get rid of DP.
I was getting there. Okay. But yeah, if you want DP out, just comment DP out on every post that he makes.
I want hashtag Twitter trending DP out.
Yeah, DP out.
Because, that won't be really dodgy.
No,
DP
not
out.
At all. Yeah. Imagine if you said DP in.
Yeah, there we go. Well, if you want him in, DP out, hashtag.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll put a poll up one day. DP in or out, and we'll see what the people want. No context whatsoever, but we'll see what people want. Do they want DP in or DP out? But no, as always, follow our individual Twitter handles, which are located below the screen, below each person. You never know, Rate might have mixed them up, and mine might be on Rates, and Rates might be on mine.
Oh, no, that doesn't happen anymore. In the DP video I did recently, I forgot even to put any handles on the screen. It was the Mega Slam review.
Fair. Well, we've got more reviews coming up from the indie shows that are being attended. We've got interviews coming up with wrestlers. Rate's got a few in the book. So, yes, we will be releasing more content very soon. But on that note, I am going to bid you good night, and I'm sure Rate will do the same.
Yeah, I need to tweet out about Kamikaze. Goodbye, everyone!
See you later!
Fuck you, DP.